Hello, my name is Lynn Shaw. I'm an occupational scientist and an occupational therapist. I work in the School of Occupational Therapy at Dalhousie University. Occupational science is the study of what people do and what people cannot do in its essence. It is the study of human occupation and all that we do as individuals and as groups in society. The study of occupation is critically important because it's linked to a variety of important issues in everyday life, like health and well-being, like justice and the rights to occupation, like flourishing and belonging. It's also linked to issues of sustainability and the environment, and how what we do every day as people in society can contribute to sustainability or limit sustainability. The other thing that's really important about the study of occupation is that it also helps us understand complex issues in society and how by doing the things we do, we would discriminate against people, we alienate people, people become marginalized, and the issues current in society today, that of oppression. Occupational science is a science that can help us address some of these issues and explore them together through important inquiry and investigation into occupation. The other piece about occupation and the reason for studying occupation is that occupations are changing and transitioning, and we need to really understand how occupations are constituted and what comprises them, and how we handle these shifts in new occupations that come out every day. The types of research that can be pursued in an MSc OS program look towards the issues of critical inquiry, transformative inquiry, participatory inquiry, intervention-based approaches, and to look at technology and inclusion. So let me just sort of backtrack a little bit on sort of starting with the critical perspective and tying it in. So critical perspectives help us look at the context and how that context has shaped the way people cannot do certain things and how it may actually privilege other people in the way they do things. So critical inquiry is critically important to understanding occupation. Transformative inquiry is an approach that gets us to look at the worldviews that have begun to shape things that have led to people not being able to do or to doing things that we begin to question and how they arise. So what leads to discrimination? How did the situation lead to alienation? Or how are some people marginalized, like young people being marginalized from the workplace? What are those worldviews? Transformative inquiry helps us deconstruct how we got to the way we are currently doing and the beliefs we currently have, and helps us then look at alternative futures. So that transformative inquiry is sometimes difficult and unsettling to do, especially when we are going down the track of looking at understanding racism as a form of oppression and how we can address that through the research that's done. Another area of looking at research is that whole area of participatory engagement. Occupation is about people doing together, and when people doing together can't do the things that they want to do, let's engage them in participatory research on what is needed for change. So that's another area that people can pursue with the questions that they bring. Looking at technology and design and the interaction between occupations that people do and the technologies available to do it, or how it shapes, is a key area for us to understand more about. So how do you get on the bus if you're in a wheelchair? Or how do you use a computer when you can't use your hands? And how are things designed to be able to support that? And I think those areas of research are fundamental to inclusion and to people to have a sense that they belong in society and can participate. This question around what are the opportunities for employment for people who have a degree is really the thing that people ask the most. And I'm going to answer the sort of approach to that with three things. One of them is, it is a research degree, and this degree can situate anybody towards further advancement of knowledge and research through a PhD onto a postdoctoral. So the advancement route to become a researcher and to be in a research environment is definitely a starting place for that. The second area is for those people who already have careers and want to take this degree so that they can advance within their areas of work that they're currently in, and to advance knowledge within an organization. And the third area is those people who come in, they take this degree, and then they take it and want to apply it somewhere. So it's not a set organization that you're going to work in or an employment direction per se, but when you come in to do the Masters of Science in Occupational Science, your curiosity of what brought you here, whether it was the issues of discrimination, whether it was looking at how to promote wellness for older people, or looking at issues for people when they retire, what are their transitions in retirement, those issues then situate you to network with researchers and people in the community to conduct your research. And often those are the directions that individuals will actually find employment. So I can give a few examples of that. I've had research students in the past that were interested in municipalities and how municipalities structure places for people to do, and to look at the sustainability of people staying in communities because they love the opportunities of all the different kinds of occupations they can do in nature, and access to grocery shopping and access to transportation to do the things they want to do. That person ended up working in a municipality in planning. Other students come in with the ideas around looking at the disparities in terms of employment, and end up then working in the government or in NGOs in trying to help people transition into decent work opportunities. Others work in areas of accessibility in supporting persons with disabilities and enabling them to do in communities and nursing homes, etc. So the directions you take this degree in really start with the roots of the research that you do, and what is that curiosity issue that you wanted to explore around furthering occupations in everyday life. What's really important about this degree is that you develop what I call an occupation conscious. So that occupation mindset that focuses in on issues of seeing things where there are injustices in whatever space you're in, whether it's in a workplace, whether it's in the community, and you seek to use the knowledge about occupation and its power to promote those things like health and well-being, to promote belonging, and how we can use this knowledge in all facets of life to actually contribute to that. I think the other issue is that occupation is one science when there are complex issues in society that it cannot be without. And I think what I really like about occupational science is that it promotes different ways of knowing, because occupations are done differently all over the world. There's not a set universal way for occupations to occur. But when there are complex problems such as disasters and floods or fires or pandemics, these are complex issues about how do we use an occupation conscious to get us focused on what do we need to do now to be able to restore people's lives, and how do we move that forward. So bringing that occupation conscious into the workplace wherever you are, or in community life, to me is going to build and forefront this, rather than it being a tacit issue about everyday doing. This is about how do we promote doing. In our program here, it is an online program, and we have some funding for students to start this program and come into the program. So there is some funding available through the university, but we are encouraging our students to move towards scholarship. And so there are some advanced opportunities to apply for funding before and during while you're in the program. Occupation has been a central issue for occupational therapy in the School of Occupational Therapy for years. We do have some scholarships and awards that our donors have actually focused in on occupation-based research, and so there are other awards that are also available for students to apply to in our program. The School of Occupational Therapy is the best place to apply for this program because we are focused on inclusion. There was an intention made in making this degree to be online and to do this type of work online, so anyone, anywhere in the world could actually study occupation. And that's what we want. We want people from around the world to study occupation. We also have focused on interdisciplinarity in this study of occupation. While we're situated in the School of OT, we recognize that the need for us to expand Occupation-based learning and research is going to require an interdisciplinary perspective. So we're now reaching out and building those opportunities here at Dalhousie and beyond to bring in other professions where occupations are centric, and how we can build together using interdisciplinary knowledge to inform change. So that's why we feel that this degree is one of the best degrees that you can get, and it is one of the only online programs in occupational science in the world. I think that doing an occupational science degree is going to situate people to be catalysts for change in our society. And that's my hope for a better world.